Welcome everybody to Eden Prairie Library and to Transit for Livable Communities community meeting here on Southwest Light Rail. Transit for Livable Communities is a nonprofit organization that advocates for public transit, biking, and walking in the Twin Cities region. We're all about building a more multimodal and equitable transportation system for the region.
Hennepin County's been working on this for about 10 years. About $25 million, maybe 30. What was this region like 10 years ago when we thought we need to build the Southwest Light Rail? So here we are 10 years later. Different economic climate, certainly. We're not talking about growth that's as robust. I don't think we're talking about 2 to 3 million people, but this is still a growing region. We still are going to have people coming into this region. If you look at Hennepin County at our population, what you will see is that we have more seniors and we have more people who are impoverished. Our poverty rate has almost doubled in 10 years. So more people who are transit dependent. And we've had the experience now of knowing that people use light rail. This is a crucial time for Southwest. We are right at the cusp, after 10 years and all that money, of really being able to put this line in service, of getting the federal commitment. But to do that, we have to have the state commitment. And we don't need 50% of the money from the state like we did for Hiawatha. We need the state of Minnesota to come up with 10%. This project is estimated to cost $1.25 billion. We need the state of Minnesota to commit $125 million. We need the legislature. This year we're asking for $25 million. We need the legislature to approve that. Next year we need them to add $100 million to it. If they do not, we're going to finish a process known as preliminary engineering, and the federal government is going to say to us, you're not reliable partners. We're not going to invest 50% of the cost of the line when we don't think you can come up with your 1/10 share. And in this area of the metro, where the benefits are really concentrated, the businesses and to the residents, our legislators have not been willing to publicly support this line.
And the federal government took a look at the Met Council's success in funding and building and getting people to ride, and they said, we want to trust you to do this again. If you compare the transit system to the beltway of freeways, we didn't start with the beltway of freeways, did we? We added one and then another, and this will connect. This will be part of a green line that will connect with the central corridor. I went to a meeting the other night, talked with a group of Somali ladies, and they said, we want our kids to be able to take the train to the U of M. They will be able to do that. If you look at United Health Group, they've already purchased land around 3 of the stations in hopes of bringing great new jobs to the corridor. 4% of us make the choice to drive less in this region, we can save $1 billion. Now this is do or die this session, as Jan said. Governor Dayton is a huge advocate for transit. Huge advocate. Last legislative session, there was a proposal to cut state funding to transit by 85%. We would have been forced at Metro Transit to get rid of 1/3 of our on-street service. Legislators need to hear from people out here who are saying, we want better and more transportation choices. Right now, there's the House and the Senate bonding bill. Neither one of them include $25 million that we need for Southwest LRT. The governor is a champion for that, but he can't do it alone. If we get funding this session, construction could begin in 2014, and folks in this room could be riding by early 2018.
Southwest on this map, we know that it leaves from Eden Prairie, Mitchell Road, it goes into downtown Minneapolis, a total of 15 miles, 17 stations, and they're expecting 30,000 riders per day when it opens in 2018, comparable to the Hiawatha light rail. It's part of a system, as Jennifer and Jan mentioned, and this is a map we've had a lot of fun with to show the vision, to show the system, and we went a little farther than the elected officials and even put stations on here so that people could get a sense that these lines are coming to their communities. So in 2012, we'll be opening the Cedar Bus Rapid Transit in Dakota County. It goes further south out from the Mall of America. In 2014, Central will open, connecting the 2 downtowns, Minneapolis and St. Paul. And in 2018, we certainly hope we'll be all riding and celebrating the Southwest Light Rail. We're about building out the rest of that system, so the Botno that goes northeast of Minneapolis and northwest, excuse me, and a number of other lines. So we're about a larger funding campaign to build out the rail system.
Because they keep building.
Most of our legislators, all of our legislators in Eden Prairie and nearby in Edina are likely not to support this in a bonding bill.
I think the tide is turning. I've met with a number of those Republican legislators, and there's sort of a party line answer right now, which is, oh, we like the bus, but we're not so sure about rail. So, we have lots of arguments that you've heard already tonight why that's a short-sighted. I would note, I think it was noted earlier, that the business community has stepped up, and we have the chambers, the Twin West Chamber, the Minneapolis Chamber, and St. Paul, all together. It's not directly in St. Paul's interest, all directly, very stridently saying, we need this project.
And the
there's-
Prairie Chamber's been supportive as well.
Yeah.
But one of the things that we're hearing from the chambers and some of the group that they're working with as well is that we need more citizen voices. That we can hash out the business argument, we can hash out these different points. At the end of the day, there also has to be a push of saying, these are your constituents. It's an election year. This is an issue that there's a lot of bipartisan support for. We're actually hearing. You made the point that some legislators in Eden Prairie and Edina in this area are not supportive. I've heard contrary things, that they are supportive, but how public are they willing to be with their support?
60,000 new jobs are expected, and a number of the large employers already have plans to expand. So this line was studied for a number of years, and they looked at other ways to try to move those people in the corridor, and they said this is the best option.